Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at Daytona International Speedway in the NSR Gen 4 Cup Series. We are here for the Bud Shootout in the 2026 season. We have an exciting season coming up. Thank you everybody for tuning in and supporting this league. We've got some exciting racing coming up. See the pace car taking off. These drivers on formation lap, headed out. Everybody just trying to get in the correct order. We'll figure out how they will be gridded up in a second, but like I said, this is the NSR Gen 4 Series. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Like I said, let's just go over the race info real quick. Like I said, this is Daytona International Speedway. We are in the Gen 4 Cup cars. This is gonna be a 40-lap event. No points, all cash. Gonna be very exciting. A lot on the line for these drivers. But one of the tricky parts of this race tonight is there will be 0 fast repairs. So it's gonna be very essential for these drivers to make it through this race, keeping their their car as clean as possible. The driver still attempting to line up and grid. There was no qualifying in this event. They did do a random draw a few days ago. And we'll go through the lineup here real quick like. See if I can find it real quick. I know that Lucas Crump will be your pole sitter here in the 2026 Bud Shootout. Travis Manning will be starting in the second position. Jared Ray Hutton in third. Chris Essery will be starting in fourth. We have Doug Macedo in fifth. Logan Simmons will be starting sixth. Lyle Mitchell seventh. Tony Kurdziel eighth. Steven Anderson will be ninth. Kyle Carpenter 10th. Brad Lawrence 11th. Jason Crumley in 12th. Philip Chavez in 13th. Mark Sikoski in 14th. League owner there. Brian Wiggins in 15th. Robert Wiggins 16th. Chris Norris 17th. Brian Burchett in 18th, and Ray Partridge will be starting in the 19th position here at Daytona International Speedway. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Fearless Broadcasting. Fearless up here in the booth with you tonight. We have had a lot of broadcasters over the past couple weeks, and thank you for all the fans out there dedicated to this league and this broadcasting channel. Looks like we will be going on one more caution lap, I do believe. Don't see the pace car. Very loose formation up here at the front at the moment. But we will be going one more caution lap before we go over to the green flag. And while we are waiting, why don't we pull in your pole sitter, Lucas Crump? Hey, Lucas, this is Fearless up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, you had the lucky draw of starting up here on the pole. It's going to be an exciting 40 laps out there, especially with no fast repair. How are you feeling about your car and your chances to keep it pretty clean tonight?
The car was handling a little bit weird during practice there. Just a little bit. It was kind of having trouble keeping up with all the other cars out there on the grid. But as we're going to start here, I'm feeling pretty confident about my start. I feel like I could stay out front here. All the real skill and everything is going to come down to when we go to pit.
How many laps of fuel do you have in that machine right now?
We have 30 laps of fuel right now. So
it's definitely going to bring in a lot of strategy later in the race. Well, I'll let you get back to your channel down there as we're going green next time by. Good luck out there.
Alrighty, thank you.
That was Lucas Crump starting up here on the pole in that 04 machine. here at Daytona International Speedway. Pace car has already left and gone to pit road. Lucas Crump is in control of the field, coming through turns 3 and 4 and onto the tri-oval now. It's going to be Lucas Crump on the inside, Chris Essery on the outside, Jared Ray Hutton, and Logan Simmons. That will be your top 4 as they head into the tri-oval looking for the green flag. And it looks like they're going to be waved by one more time. We'll get it sorted out soon enough, folks. Apologies for that. Looks like they're having a little bit of trouble getting the grid in order. But that's okay. We'll be under green flag soon enough. While we're waiting, why don't we go ahead and review the schedule? If you're just now tuning in, this is, like I said, Fearless Broadcasting here with the NSR Gen 4 Cup Series. These are open setup races, so very, very interesting. Going to be very interesting races as they do not manufacture open setups for the Gen 4s commercially. So these drivers are left to their own skill. Be sure to tune in each and every week. This week is the Bud Shootout. Next week will be the Daytona 2008 Gatorade Duels. Then the week after that will be the Daytona 2008 500. And from then on January 31st, we will be going to Rockingham, Mexico City Oval, Mexico City National Historic Track. And we will be going to the Charlotte All-Star Race. We've got North Wilkesboro on the schedule on February 28th. 2008 Atlanta on March 7th, 2008 Phoenix on March 14th, Darlington on March 21st, and the last regular season race will be Auto Club on March 28th as they are working their way through the tri-oval again. Looks like the field is much, much more tighter of a formation, and it looks like we might be going green this time by. Alrighty, it's Lucas Crump on the inside, Chris Essery on the outside. As I head into the restart zone, looking for that green flag. And there it is. Through the gears we go. Green flag here in the NSR Gen 4 Cup Series. A few drivers coming out of the pits now. They will be outside of the draft, but we'll see how that will work out for them as they fan out going through turns 1 and 2. Still double file. It's Lucas Crump trying to hold his own on the inside. Chris Essery outside lane looking a little bit more tightly formed together, but Lucas Crump surging ahead for a second. Chris Essery, though, takes the lead on the backstretch with that outside lane momentum, and a great push from the 92 of Logan Simmons. And that 20 will take the lead. He will clear, move down to the bottom. Lucas Crump down now back to second place. That bottom lane now starting to surge ahead. Outside lane falling apart as they head down through the tri-oval, looking for that one lap complete. Give it to Chris Essery. It's Essery, Lucas Crump, and then it's side by side for that third position. Outside lane continuing to fall off. That 20 of Chris Essery just running that yellow line as the drivers behind him fighting for position. Oh, it looks like most everybody is running on that inside lane, trying to just stay in the draft, save some fuel. Oh, as you heard your pole sitter Lucas Crump, we will be having to pit at some point in this race. They will only be able to make it 30 laps on the field. If that 92 finally gets down on the bottom, Logan Simmons, he will fall all the way back to that 9th position. He's got his work cut out for him as the entire field pretty much is single file. A few drivers looking to poke out a line there in the back. Here we go. A few drivers poking up to the outside lane. Who's that back there? Black car number 9. That's Jason Crumley trying to poke to the outside, and we've got a few more drivers poking up here. That's Mark Sikowski who pulled up in front of him, and then the 77 of Kyle Carpenter. Carpenter now leading that outside lane. Oh, that is actually Philip Chavez up there right behind the 77 of Carpenter. But those 5 drivers try to make some magic up here on the outside lane. That 92 of Logan Simmons staying down on the bottom, trying to get a few more spots back. As they continue to run side by side back here, but the top 5 are beginning to pull away a little bit. As they continue to battle side by side, outside lane again falling apart. As only 3 drivers are left up there. And everybody's just trying to get single file again. Looks like this could be a long green flag run. Chris Nsr up here in the race lead. No challenges so far. Lucas Crump has poked to the outside a little bit as they're running side by side again. Here's Simmons. He goes to the outside, and he will make the pass on. I do believe that was Tony Kurtzil. He will make the pass on him as the 50 of Jared Ray Hutton goes to the outside to block. Outside lane has a run. Top 2 pulling away. But with only 2 drivers in that draft, they will lose a lot of momentum as they are getting together back here in the back. Simmons comes down to the track, makes contact with Douglas Macedo down there on the bottom. The 50 and the 92 bump drafted up there on the outside. Car in the wall further back, trying to hold on to it. He will. We stay green for now. They're still all over the place up here. Here comes the 50. He's got to run. He's got to push from the 92. They will continue to try to work around Douglas Macedo down there in that number 62. They will make the pass. Here comes the 50. Now trying to get to the outside of Lucas Crump. Crump staying down on the bottom for now. Outside lane falling back a little bit through turns 1 and 2. But now down the backstretch we will see. Will that momentum play off? Here they come. Outside of Lucas Crump. They've got to run. Now looking to the outside of Chris Nsr, and the 50 car is starting to have some technical difficulties. 92 of Logan Simmons having to back off a little bit to make sure he doesn't wreck him accidentally. But it looks like they're going to keep it straight through the tri-oval. Side by side for the race lead. 50 gets sideways. Big push by the 92. He holds on to it. And Jared Ray Hutton will take the lead for the first time today. Logan Simmons pushing him hard. So they head through turns 1 and 2. Logan Simmons struggling to keep a straight bump. Struggling to keep those bumpers lined up. As 50 continuing to encounter network difficulties, and Logan Simmons is going to go to his outside. And that will leave Chris Nsr back here in the race lead. Douglas Macedo back here in 3rd. And looks like that outside lane has completely fallen apart. Car hard into the outside wall. Who was that? I believe that was Joshua Slade. Not sure what happened there. He pounds the outside wall. A little bit further back, Logan Simmons about to lose the draft. Ray Partridge has lost the draft. Jared Ray Hutton, where is he popped in? He is just barely hanging on to the draft. So not sure what all happened. We saw multiple cars all over the track. The 50 car of Jared Ray Hutton and a few others beginning to lose the draft of the main pack. But we stay green flag. Looks like maybe a little bit of damage to that 50 car as he is up high and slow. Trying to tuck in behind the number 13 of Tony Kurtzil. Behind them, you got Philip Chavez and Mark Sikowski. They got some work. They got their work cut out for them if they want to get back up here and catch this lead pack. These top 7 drivers, they are very tightly formed together. They know what they're doing. They are beginning to gap the rest of the field as I believe that was Brian Wiggins. Momentarily looked like he was going to try to pass the number 56 there of Chris Norris, but they will stay back in line. They will lose a lot of ground on Douglas Macedo, who is rounding out the top 3 here. As they come around through the tri-oval, that will be lap number 10 of 40 here in the Bud Shootout. It's been a very exciting 10 laps, a lot of excitement, a lot of side-by-side action, and a few close calls. see what's happening to Jared Ray Hutton. He must have some kind of damage. He has completely lost all of track. Philip Chavez and Mark Sikorsky have both went around him. Logan Simmons back here in the 15th position all by himself. He has lost a lot of time. That 92 needs some sort of caution. He had a really fast car before getting into that little incident with the number 50. There are 2 cars in between these 2 drivers. The 79 of Joshua Slade has pounded the wall a couple times, so he has a little bit of aero damage. The number 9 of Jason Crumley, not sure if he has any damage or not, but you can see them both going around the number 50. And yeah, you can see the damage on the right side of that number 79. So hopefully the 50 will be able to stay in the draft of these drivers, but as they continue to pull away from him, we'll have to wait and see. Back up here at the front, though, it's still Nsr Crump 1-2, Douglas Macedo in 3rd, Chris Norris in 4th. Brian Wiggins gets into Norris. Norris. Wiggins and Norris make contact, nearly cause a spin, but they will keep it straight as the 77 of Carpenter, looking to the outside of Lawrence for a second, will think better of it. Working lap number 12, as the back 2 of this pack have begun to lose touch after they poked side by side. As here we go. 56 and 15 went side by side. That will allow the 5 and the 77 to begin to catch back up to the field. This main pack starting to lose its formation. Not sure where Cope and Kurzel are. So we have a pack of 4 right here. They are currently 2.8 seconds behind Norris, who is the last driver in this pack. So if this front pack continues to run side by side and loosely kind of broken up like they have been, this pack of 4 back here has a pretty good chance of catching up. We'll definitely keep an eye on it, as they have already closed that gap down to 2.3 seconds now. Well, it looks like a lot of the pack has settled down, as the 15 still looking a little bit aggressive right now. Let's ride along with our pole sitter, Lucas Crump, for a little bit and just see what he sees. Currently in the cockpit with that number 04. So we are working lap number 14. Looks like Douglas Macedo has been passed a few times. That 15 car, he has a really fast machine. That 15 Napa car, Brian Wiggins, has passed several drivers in this single car draft, but this continued side-by-side action has allowed that pack of 4 to close down within, it looks like, 1.2 seconds. So Wiggins is slowing the entire front pack down with these continued moves, but he is up to 3rd, and now he is pulling to the back bumper of Lucas Crump as the top 3 begin to pull away slightly. We have 26 laps to go here in the Bud Shootout, presented by the Nsr Gen 4 Cup Series. It's been a lot of exciting racing here. No cautions so far in this event, which is rather surprising for Daytona. A few drivers have sustained damage, but it's only from actions such as hitting the wall. Haven't really had many accidents. Good racing here. Here comes Nsr going around turns 1 and 2 here. Let's ride along with Brian Wiggins and just Keep an eye on him for a little bit. This number 15 has been one of the fastest cars in the field so far today. As you see him getting a run on the 04, we're going to stay in line for the moment. As we only have 24 laps to go, but remember, these drivers, oh, Lucas Crump poking to the outside. The 15, what's he going to do? He's going to go with them. Now side by side for the race lead. That 04 wants that lead back. Lucas Crump back to the front, but Wiggins, what's he going to do? Wiggins has a push from the 5. He's going to poke back out. 5 pokes in behind Crump. 15, aggressive block. What a block by the 15. The 20 of Chris Nsr goes from 1st to 5th in one corner, as Lucas Crump will take the race lead. The 15 of Brian Wiggins will take 2nd. 3rd place will be Brad Lawrence. 4th place, Douglas Macedo. And just like that, Chris Nsr back to 5th, but here they go, side by side again. Macedo, Nsr around the number 5. Macedo will go back in line, but Nsr once more. He's going to get a push from the 77 of Kyle Carpenter. And now they will get all single file again as that pack of 4 has finally caught up to this main pack. Headed up by Chris Norris. Norris now to the outside of the Chris Norris. That's going to be a pass for position. As they're side by side in front of him again, Macedo. Nsr side by side. Carpenter to the outside. Looks like Macedo drifts up the track a little bit, trying to side draft off each other, allowing the top 2 to pull away. But Nsr starting to pull ahead, but here comes the push to Macedo. The number 5 of Brad Lawrence, good push to Macedo. Macedo pulls ahead. Nsr now left out to dry. As a few drivers now poking back into the outside lane, running side by side here. Pretty evenly matched lanes, to be honest. Nsr on the outside, Macedo on the inside. Macedo will clear. He will move up. Thinks about blocking, then changes his mind. It looks like Lawrence is also on the inside. He will also pull ahead of Nsr. Don't count that outside lane out yet. The 77's got a good run coming on that number 20. They just can't get that momentum changed around as more and more drivers bail out of that outside lane. Lucas Crump still up here in the race lead. Here comes that outside. Momentum finally shifted. Nsr now battling side by side with the Chris Norris machine. Now gets back up beside the 5 of Brad Lawrence. These 4 drivers up here on the outside trying to make some headway now to the outside of Macedo. He's coming to the front. Here comes the 20 of Chris Nsr. Macedo gets up the track trying to side draft. I'm not sure if they made any contact or not, but Nsr will continue that big run. He's now going to work to the outside of Brian Wiggins. The 20, Carpenter. The 20 and the 77, Nsr and Carpenter have a huge run coming now on Lucas Crump. Here it comes, Nsr through the tri-oval. He will take the 2nd position, now coming down to side draft. But only 3 drivers remain at that outside lane, and don't think they're going to have the momentum to get around Crump, as Crump will move up the block. Nsr now starting to fall back. Carpenter trying to get that momentum shifted back towards the front. They just don't have enough people up there on the outside lane yet. And there we go. Now the momentum shifting again. Nsr on the outside. He's got a good push from Carpenter. Wiggins just doesn't have Macedo on his back bumper. Lots of gaps there on the bottom. Crump, what's he going to do? He has a chance to block, but he's going to stay down here on the bottom and wait for that push from Wiggins. Inside lane now, 4 and back together. Wiggins gets to the back bumper of Crump. Macedo right behind Wiggins. And the outside lane will start to gap. Lucas Crump will keep control of the field for now, with only 19 laps to go. Outside lane with only 4 drivers right now. Carpenter now finds the back bumper of Chris Nsr again, but he has lost several car lengths. A little bit of a gap there on the bottom. They are side by side with Brad Lawrence right now. Right behind Lawrence is Tony Kurziel. The outside lane will continue to fall back now. Chris Nsr falls back to the 6th position. Inside lane now fighting to get around him. That's Chris Norris there on the bottom, who he is side by side with right now. And just like that, outside lane momentum completely fizzles out, and everybody will start bailing down to the bottom, just waiting for the chance to try again. Great side-by-side racing for several laps there by Chris Nsr in that number 20. He's got a fast car, just doesn't have the kind of pushers that he needs to get up towards the front. As they work their way into the tri-oval here. All quiet at the front for now. Everybody single file. Anticipating green flag pit stops here any lap now. You heard that 04, your pole sitter Lucas Crump talking about how he only had 30 laps of fuel to start this event. I know a few of those drivers behind him will probably have a bit more fuel saved out, but drivers like Crump, Nsr, Wiggins, they've been driving extraordinarily hard to stay up here at the front. They'll probably have burned a bit more fuel than some of those drivers behind them. And we'll have to see as they work their way through the tri-oval again. We'll have to see just how long they can stay out. As the car goes high, that's Carpenter. Not sure if anybody's going to go with him here. And Carpenter goes back down to the bottom. Lucas Crump in control of the field here in the Bud Shootout. If you're just now joining in, this is Fearless Broadcasting's presentation of the Nsr Bud Shootout. Welcome to the NSR Gen 4 Cup Series. We will be live every Saturday night for this open setup league. If you're interested in racing, just shoot a message in the comments. I'll send the Discord link over for you to apply to sign up. And if you're just a fan, we deeply appreciate you joining in. The events like this would not be possible without your continued support of both leagues like the NSR and Fearless Broadcasting. So we have 15 laps to go in this event. Starting to get a little bit antsy up here at the front. Not sure when these drivers are going to make a move or who's going to make the move. As they fly through turns 3 and 4. 56 goes high. Everybody's coming to pit road. Or not everybody. Looks like half the field comes down pit road. Not even half. Nsr, Carpenter, and Philip Chavez all come down pit road. For a second there, it looked like more people would. But Crump, Wiggins, Macedo, they're going to stay out for a few more laps. Bottom two of this pack starting to lose the pack a little bit. That's Culp and Sikorsky. I think they got stuck behind the cars who slowed down and go to pit road. I'm not sure if they didn't have proper warning or not. But Crump, Wiggins, let's see if they're going to come down pit road this time. And looks like they will. Crump coming down to pit road. Looks like Brad Lawrence is going to stay out. But we have a big pack of people. Oh, Sikorsky gets turned. No caution because Sikorsky gets turned coming into pit road by the 56 to Chris Norris. He will get it back going straight. That's going to be costly in time. We'll have to see how fast this pack can get off pit road, but that's going to severely hurt Mark Sikorsky. He says several drivers having to back up in their pit stalls as well. Luke Crump already out. Disastrous round of pit stalls for multiple drivers as Brad Lawrence out here all by himself. Not sure what this strategy play is. He must have been counting on some sort of incident. Joshua Slade and looks like Jared Ray Hutton are back here. They are second and third. Logan Simmons. It looks like he has a little bit of a pack formed up here. Simmons, Partridge, Anderson, and Burchett are all together. Lucas Crump is back here. He's got help from Tony Kurdziel. Those two drivers, the top two drivers coming off of pit road as Kurdziel has to go, choosing to go around Lucas Crump. Here comes Chris Essery. These three drivers already pitted a lap ago. They are already up to speed, and they are catching Lucas Crump very fast. Side by side for the eventual race lead. Here comes the 20. What's he going to do? He's going to take it 3 wide through the middle. What a move by Chris Essery as Crump and Kurdziel stuck side by side. Not sure what Kurdziel is doing. Continuing to slow down Lucas Crump. They will lose the draft of these three drivers in front. As Kurdziel finally will give up trying to pass that 04. They will now try to get nose to tail and see if they can somehow catch back up to those head three as the 5 car coming back onto the track. See where that is Brad Lawrence coming off of pit road. Let's see where Brian Wiggins is. He is all by himself back here. Douglas Macedo and Justin Cope are drafting together. Mark Sikowski has found Chris Norris. He has found, let's see. So Mark Sikowski is drafting with Justin Cope, and Macedo is all by himself, and Wiggins is all by himself. So this field has been turned completely up on its head as Joshua Slade and Jared Ray Hunton, your top two at the moment. Logan Simmons and Ray Partridge are catching them, so we're about to have about a 6-car pack up here at the front. But Chris Essery here leading the drivers who have come to pit road. He's got a push from Kyle Carpenter and Philip Chavez, Lucas Crump, and Tony Kurdziel. Not a lot of teamwork going on right there. Yes, it looks like the top 6 drivers coming down pit road. So this could be the race-winning move if they can get off pit road. Oh, no, they are way too far behind. As you see Essery flying by. Chris Essery, very fast car, very fast draft at the moment right here with Carpenter and Chavez. It looks like Crump and Kurdziel getting a little bit closer together, but still in a very bad way. But here we go. We got a little bit of a pack forming up right here. Brian Wiggins is leading them. You got Justin Cope, Mark Sikowski, and Douglas Macedo. Now, we're not sure if Mark Sikowski took tires on that last pit stop after getting turned by the 56 of Chris Norris. But he appears to be keeping up pretty well. We didn't see any contact with the wall, so I don't assume we have any real bodywork damage there on that number 8 Budweiser machine. So this pack of 4, we'll have to see how fast they're going to be able to catch the drivers in front of them. They are 2.5 seconds behind Brad Lawrence and rapidly closing, so they will overtake that number 5 machine as they are now down to 9 seconds. They are 9 seconds behind Crump and Kurdziel, who are almost 5 seconds behind the race leader and rapidly losing. So we only have 9 laps to go. Chris Essery doing everything he needed to in this race. Very clean pit stop by him and the other 2 drivers who came down with him. Lucas Crump told us before the race started that green flag pit stops were going to be the key to winning this race, and boy was he right. This group of 3 executed much smoother than that other bigger pack that came in. They are up here in the front. They've got a 5.4 second gap on Crump and Kurdziel. Then they are losing time to Brian Wiggins, but just not fast enough. The gap is about 13.3 seconds, and we're coming to the line. 7 laps to go right now. If Brian Wiggins can get 2 or 3 more drivers in that pack, he might have a chance. But at the moment, he is 7 seconds behind Crump and Kurdziel. And still quite far behind Chris Essery, about 13.0 seconds right now. I just don't think there's enough time. As that 15 car getting a pretty good push from Justin Cope. These drivers, I'm sure these drivers understand the urgent situation they are in. They are very tightly formed together, trying to make up as much time as they possibly can. They're doing a good job. They've already taken another second and a half off of the gap between them and Kurtzil. About 6 seconds now between them and 13. With only 6 laps to go. Looks like Wiggins should be able to get into the top 5. I just don't think they have enough time to make up that 12 seconds unless we have our first caution of the day. But this race has went green the entire way through. It's been a very entertaining one to watch as well. A lot of exciting action with these very nice looking machines out here. As Wiggins continues to try to pull that third pack. Chris Nsr up here in the race lead. He's done everything right so far today. If he can just hang on for about 5 more laps, might be able to take the race lead. These three drivers starting to break off a little bit, trying to get a little bit of a run on each other. You can see Chris Carpenter, he wants that lead. He's backed off of the back bumper of Nsr, possibly just looking for an opening, making its plan to make a move here in the closing laps. They just got to be careful they don't get side by side for too long, because they don't want to lose too much time on Brian Wiggins. They only have 5 laps to go now. Make that 4 at the line. Lucas Crump, Tony Kurtzil still running 4th and 5th. I'm sure Crump a little bit frustrated about how that pit exit happened. If he and Kurtzil had stayed single file, they would be up there with that main pack right now. Not much to... Can't really change much about that now. Brian Wiggins starting to close in on them. The gap is now 3.7 seconds and closing. Brian Wiggins definitely going to have the opportunity to catch Crump and Kurtzil here with only 3 laps to go. Chris Nsr still leading. Carpenter and Chavez just content to stay in line for now. It's been a very nice race. We did have a lot of single file action earlier in the race. Green flag pit stops very entertaining. Mark Sikowski did get spun by the 56 of Chris Norris. I do believe Chris Norris disconnected after that as well. It looks like he has had a few issues. So Norris definitely got some damage. Oh, he's slow on the track on the bottom. What's going on there. 56 of Chris Norris went off track. Some sort of incident. No caution. 2 laps to go. A lot of damage on the front of that machine. Oh my. I'm not sure what happened to that 56. Looks like he's going to be able to limp it down to pit road. But let's see if we can see a replay. Oh, he was in a pack. Well, got into the 50 car. Hard hit onto the inside retainer wall there in the trial, but somehow able to limp it back around all the way over to pit road. Good racing. Good move by that number 56. So we have the white flag out for Chris Nsr as he heads towards turns 1 and 2. That number 20 car in the race lead. Carpenter all over his back bumper. The question is, will they stay in line or will they duke it out? You can see Carpenter backing up a little bit. He's got to run. He's got to push. The 20 goes up the block. 77 goes higher. 20 back down to the yellow line. 77 side draft. Here comes the 8. What's he going to do? Side by side for the race lead. It's a 3-wide finish And Carpenter to the lead. It will take the victory here in the final lap of the Bud Shootout. The 77 of Chris Carpenter will take the lead in the last corner. Philip Chavez will come home in second. Chris Essery in third. And that will be your race. Lucas Crump will come in fourth. Tony Kurdziel in fifth. And Brian Wiggins sixth. Mark Sikowski in seventh. Douglas Macedo eighth. Steven Anderson comes home in the ninth position. 10th place will be Logan Simmons. Ray Partridge will be in 11th. Brian Vershey in 12th. Jared Ray Hutton in 13th. Joshua Slade in 14th. Brad Lawrence in 15th. Jason Crumley 16th. Justin Cope and Chris Norris both will not finish that last lap. 17th and 18th as Carpenter coming around for that burnout. What a finish, though. Very, very crazy last few corners. Carpenter will take the victory. We'll get to do the burnouts in the grass. Let's see if we can holler at some of these drivers. Kyle Carpenter. Looks like Kyle Carpenter is not available for comment. Do believe. Let's see if we can holler at that number 8 car after that incident in the pit, coming in green flag pit stops. Hey, Mark, this is Fearless up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
So, pretty nice racing up there until that round of green flag pit stops. Saw a little bit of contact between you and Norris, put you around and possibly took you out of a good finish. You got, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, we just weren't expecting everybody to check up as much as they did. I think everybody was a little nervous and they didn't know. They weren't staggered coming down pit road, so guys were just they were tiptoeing down in there, and we figured we could gain some spots there, and we had guys just closing the gap up as we got up in there. I saw a hole, and then they closed it up, and we got into them a little bit. Didn't hurt us too bad. Not really a whole lot of damage. Just you know, we screwed up with our pit strategy. We ended up taking 2 right side tires. We didn't really want to do that, but yeah, we just we weren't prepared. Our whole team we messed up, but yeah, it was good racing out there. We had a fast car, just not the right strategy tonight.
Nice recovery back up to the 7th position, and looking forward to next week. We're coming back to Daytona for the Gatorade Duels. How do you feel about the car and about the team headed forward? Try this race again.
Well, next week we don't have to worry about fuel at all, so that won't be an issue. Car's fast enough. If we can stay out of trouble, we'll have a good shot at maybe picking up a win.
Well, I'll let you get off of here. Congratulations on a 7th place finish, and can't wait to see you next week to try it again.
All right, thanks, Ethan.
That was Mark Sikowski over there in that number 8 machine. Let's see who else we can interview here. Looks like I don't see any of the top 3 available for comments, so we will pull one other driver. We'll pull Brian Wiggins in that number 15 car. Hey, Brian, this is Fearless on the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do. How's it going, sir?
Well, pretty good. That number 15 was looking pretty sharp out there today. Not quite the finish that you probably wanted, but it looked like you handled very good in the draft. Talk us through your race today, pit strategy, and what you're looking forward to next week.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, the car was great. Big props to Mark building that setup. we had a good car, and at the beginning, I was kind of just cruising along, seeing what I could get, not being too aggressive. And we got up there in the top three, and I was like, all right, let's do this thing. Then pits came and came down pit road, and I overshot my box, and a lot of us made mistakes. Them three that finished first, second, and third, I was watching the replay. They did their pit flawlessly, man. No mistakes at all, and that's what it takes.
So I know next week in the duels, no pit strategy gonna be needed, but you think y'all gonna practice pit strategy a little bit for the 500, or you think you're gonna have a little bit better luck next time?
No, I definitely think we need to practice it. Getting into the pits and out of the pits is going to be key for the 500.
Well, I'll let you hop off of here. It's very fun watching you race out here tonight, and I cannot wait to watch the coming weeks.
Thank you, man. You do a good job up there.
I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, man.
That was Brian Wiggins over here in the number 15. Thank you for tuning in. Fearless Broadcasting and Fearless Broadcasting's presentation of the NSR Gen 4 Cup Series Bud Shootout. Be sure to join us next week. We will be here once again for the Gatorade Duels. It's going to be some more exciting racing from Daytona. Be sure to drop a comment if you are interested in joining the league. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, and support both us and the NSR Cup Series in the coming weeks. But until next week, this is Fearless, signing off.